Day 44 of this and never-ending story lockdown. I'm having a really bad hair day today, as you can see. Flu Man Chew's still here. Okay. Here's something I want to get off my chest. Normally I try to make these lighthearted and funny, but sometimes I be looking around like, really? Okay, I know this is a couple days ago, the NFL draft happened, but as I'm watching it, it's like I don't understand why a kid gets drafted in 20, 21, 22 years old. And if you do one thing wrong in your life, they put it on the screen. Like, it's personal to me because, Bengals got T. Higgins. And all of a sudden I'm a huge fan. And it's like, it gives all his stats: Tennessee, Mr. Basketball, two-sport athlete, Clemson, all the touchdowns. And then right at the bottom, it says like his mom. Something about his mom and with drugs or something. And I'm like, what? Why would you put that on the screen as the first thing we see? That's the first thing people are going to think about now. I'm like, leave that up to T to talk about. That's not for us to talk about. That has nothing to do with him on the football field. Absolutely nothing. That's personal. That's something for him to share. And I know he's been sharing it, but that's not the first thing you see. That's not the first thing you should put up when somebody gets drafted, is that. And then the Seahawks pick some kid in the 5th round. First thing they say, the announcers, is, he stole his girlfriend's wallet. And then I looked it up, and it was in high school in Texas. The kid went to Syracuse, and look, we all do stupid stuff when we're growing up. I just don't understand what that, because let me tell you, 9% of football fans, we don't care. We don't care. If you can ball, you can ball. Outside of murder and rape, everything else is kind of like we can let stuff slide, pretty much. And we've shown we've let stuff slide. You can ball. I just don't get it. I remember a couple years ago when the Bengals got Joe Mixon, and everybody was like, oh, he hit a girl, he hit a girl. Yeah, he hit the girl 3 years ago, and there was some circumstances that I don't need to get into, but it wasn't. They made it sound like Joe Mixon walked into a Denny's and for no reason just went up and hit this chick. That's what they made it sound like. There was so much more to that story, as we all know. And I remember when the Bengals drafted Joe Mixon, people was like, they're going to lose their fan base. Watch. I go, yeah. So the guy's done nothing in 3 years. Nothing. And he's done nothing but good things since he got to Cincy. So now we're 6 years past. And now people are like, oh, Bengals got to re-sign him. They better re-sign him to a long deal. It's funny. 3 years ago, people was like, they shouldn't pick Joe Mixon because of something he did when he was like 17 years old. And I'm not justifying it, but teenagers do dumb shit. Let's just be honest. And he's done nothing before or after that. He had one terrible incident, but now those same people that's like, Bengals shouldn't draft Joe Mixon, and now they're like, they better re-sign him. They need him. I'm telling you, once you score a couple touchdowns, catch a couple passes, make a couple sacks, football fans don't care. 90% of football fans didn't care about Colin Kaepernick kneeling. We don't care. I never watched an NFL game and looked on the sidelines to see if somebody was kneeling. I just worry about, can you ball? That's all I want to know. Can you play ball? Because I've been thinking about my own self. I'm like, I stole a brownie when I was 4 years old. I stole a brownie out of like a King Quick. I don't know if you guys remember what King Quicks were, but we had them in Cincinnati. I stole it. And then the guy that behind the register saw me steal it and told my mom, your son just stole a brownie. It was like the little individually wrapped brownies that sit by the register that looks like they're freshly baked. And I don't know why I remember that. I don't remember much from being 4 years old, but I remember that. So let's just say I get drafted, NFL or NBA. They could easily say Gary got busted for shoplifting. They could have said that, and they'd be valid. Gary got busted for shoplifting. Hell, I've drove drunk before, didn't get caught, but in my early 20s, I drove drunk, but I didn't get caught. So if I would have got caught, now I'm a shoplifter and a drunk driver. I'm just saying. That shouldn't be the first thing we see when these kids get drafted. It shouldn't be let the local media and that'll all come out eventually, but it shouldn't be the first thing we see. Jesus Christ. It's supposed to be the best day of their life, and you got to bring up the worst day of their life. That's what I don't get. Anyways, I just saw that a few times, and I was like, I don't know, because listen, most of the kids we don't know. We don't know who they are. And now you're putting out this image in our head of that's the type of person they are. Then when you realize that's not them at all, it's funny too, because anytime somebody gets drafted by your hometown team, you automatically become a fan. Because I swear to God, my dad called me. The Bengals drafted some kid from Wyoming in the 3rd round, linebacker. And the name's slipping me, but I'll remember it because trust me, I'm going to know I know the roster by heart in about a month. My dad called me and goes, "Hey man, I really like this kid from Wyoming." I go, "Dad, you ain't ever freaking watched a Wyoming game. You have never mentioned Wyoming a day in your life. And now they draft some kid from Wyoming. All of a sudden, I like this kid." Really? You don't know nothing about this kid. You don't know if he's good or not. I never watched a Wyoming football game in my life. I've never been to Wyoming. I don't even know Wyoming is. I've been to Wyoming once. I drove through it. That's it. Only thing I saw in Wyoming was gas stations called Come and Go. I've seen them in Iowa, Nebraska, and Wyoming. Come and Go. That's the only thing I know about Wyoming. They had a gas station, K-U-M and Go. That's it. But now my dad's like, "I like this kid from Wyoming." Really? Let me tell you something. If Jacksonville would have drafted that kid from Wyoming, my dad wouldn't know who that kid was. Ever. So, anyways, I just think it just rubbed me wrong. I've been marinating on a couple of days, like, should I talk about it? But it just kills me. That's the first thing we see about these kids when they come out. Don't bring up the worst day of their life on draft day. Jesus Christ. Just talk about their stats, where they went to school, what their coaches say about them. That's all we care. And what do we know is about them? Good. And then keep it moving. But don't be like, he shoplifted or mom was on drugs and all that stuff. Right off the bat. Really? I don't know. Just kind of rubbed me wrong. All right. This is Gary Owen, 4-year-old shoplifter at a King Quick. Right in your face. Yeah, I'm about that life. And I got caught and had to return it. Didn't get to take a bite, but I stole that brownie. I did at 4. Gangster like that. All right, y'all. We'll see you tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow's Wednesday. It's a crazy stepdad story coming right at you.